Alright, this video I'm going to talk about, well, what we're showing right, what we see right now is the About Us page. However, obviously there's a base template, there's a base setup for this functionality, you know, with the changing text and information and how this works and everything. You obviously are going to be using that to create your services pages and services section. So I'm going to go over all that. I might break this down into two separate tutorials. I'm not sure at this point. Depends on how long this video goes. But there's a lot to take in, so just do your best to follow along with me. I'm gonna try to go as slow as possible and be as detailed as possible. All right. So with that said, let's jump in. And what we want to navigate to is the About Us section. Okay, and we just have these three, initially what would be articles or paragraphs or text or whatever you want to call it, and that is the stuff that goes here. That's these sections right here. So let's for now just focus on just making one of these and not really worry about the part with the banner, or excuse me, the menu working and the banner images and all that kind of stuff. So just assuming we need to add, let's just for the time being, say a service. So let's just say weddings and events. Alright, so we got our title, and then what we want to do is obviously put in our content, our text, whatever you have going on. So I'm going to go ahead and draw something in real quick. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to set that up and I'm going to save my work up to this point. Save it. Now, what I want you to see over in this section called the tab section is the current list of tabs, and that's what we have to this point. That's for this area right here. So what I want to do is set this section to one of these tabs. So we'll do, meet the eventistas. Okay. I can also add a new one if I need to, and I'll just real quick demo that. Not really sure what to do. Let's just call it weddings, I guess, for now. And you can always delete these out. I'll show you where to do that too. Okay, so there we are. We have two selected, at least that are attached to this section. All right, I'm going to go ahead and publish. Okay, so now I want to come back to our About Us page, our section. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. And what we'll see is weddings and event. This is the one I just added right here. Okay, so and then we'll see that if we click and change, that we can navigate through all this. Okay, so real quick before I forget, the title, just the header tag, and let me go over that real quick right here. Let's find one we've already made. I want to say it's an H1 tag. I can't remember right off the bat. So okay, so that's this section right here is an H2, a heading 2. So excuse me, I was wrong. A heading 2. So when you make your titles, you would just choose that. Real quick, I'll do it for this one. So, title here, highlight this whole thing, and heading 2, update, and if I come back and refresh this, what I should get is that header in there, and I do. Okay, so that's the first part. Pretty straightforward. You add your section, and you attach it to quote unquote a tab. So that is the tab. These right here are tabs. Okay, and we can do multiple variations of that. So that's what I have here. So obviously I don't need both. I'll update this. And then we'll see, assuming that it was here. So let's go back to the back end. All right, now is where it gets a little tricky. we got to do a couple other steps. So what I want to show you first is the tabs. You can actually, so I showed you in this area right here we can make tabs, but you can also come here to create tabs. They don't mean anything, not different if you do it here or do it over there. Wherever you make it's where you make it, but you can come in here and just create them one by one and just click the add new category and it'll populate here and then automatically show up in the other section. If I can pull it up, that I showed you in this right side with the tab. So you have both ways that you can set that up right in here. Okay, but anyways, what I want to show you where it gets a little tricky and a little hard to remember is how do we get this section to show up. So this is an About Us one, maybe you have a social services one or a corporate services one, or whatever the case may be. You got to have different ones for different pages. So what we use is a thing called shortcodes, and let me show you how to do that. Let's go to Pages, and let me actually add a new one, make a new. Alright, let me give it a name, so we're just going to call this corporate for now. Okay, corporate services. Alright, what we next want to do is over under page attributes and then template. Width and logo block, this is the one we need, this right here. And then what we want to do is come to this shortcode icon right here, tabs, click this, and now we're just going to select the ones that we want. Now here is where it's going to get tricky, is the title. This is the actual, this section right here. So when you make new tabs, if you remember, you had tab. You add each article, I should say, to the main tab. So meet the Eventistas, let's just call that the main tab. Right? With me so far? Okay. So let me go back here, and I'm going to come back full circle. I'm going to do this a couple times because it's a little tough to remember. So if you remember, under the About Us, we create articles. We create. All right. So this main article, as we create a new one or an existing one, is attached to what I'm referring to as the main tab. So the article and a tab and an article. All right. So if I do weddings and events, that's my article. The Eventistas, right? Okay, you with me so far? All right, so let's go back to creating a new page. And that pop-up box that I showed you, that box is where you choose the tabs. And when you choose the tab, that tab carries over with the attached articles. Okay, so, oh, wait a minute, did I... trying to remember to do everything all at one time. It's just a lot to remember. I had a draft in here for corporate. Let's see, corporate services. There we go. Okay, so I want to insert tabs to this page. I want to have that look, this look right here. So what I want to do is click that shortcode icon for tabs. This right here. Pop-up box is going to show up, and what I do is I select the tabs that I want. So if I select this one, and this one, click Insert. It's going to put this little code in there. That's all you need to do. So, oh, and don't forget to set this template, the page with full width and logo block. So if I publish this and view the page, I should see a new section with just those on it. So here we are, here's our corporate services, here are the 3 tabs that I've attached to this, and if you remember, and don't worry about the image not showing up here, I haven't uploaded those yet, and that'll come later. But these are the 3 tabs that I set up, and if you remember, that when I went showed you, the articles are attached to the tabs. So, and if you have 20 articles under Meet the Eventistas, that's going to show up here. And as you add these new tabs, these new sections, it's going to show up in that list. So right now, at the time we only have, what, 4 or 5, whatever's in this section. Let's see, you want 4. So as you add new tabs and new sections, this list is going to grow, and you simply choose the ones you want to insert. All right, a lot. I know that's a lot to remember. So remember, tabs and then articles. Articles are the actual sections that contain the text. The tab is the section that you click to open up those articles. So that would be this right here. Okay. Next is how do we add the images into that top scrolling part. Now, I sent you an email, I believe, yesterday, talking about that, the image thing, and basically there's a small dilemma in the text. There's a default text that sits under it, and so that could change between the time I'm doing this video and when you guys actually get back to me for that. But how you insert the images is going to be the same. There's no difference in that. It's just whether that text is going to be there or not for you guys. The Meet the Event Nieces text, or excuse me, our Event Nieces, whether this is going to be here or not. That's the only difference. But inserting the images is going to be the same. And what we do is we click this, and we just drop in our images. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 real quick. Let's see. Something on your guys' stuff, I guess, would be easier. So that's a little too big. A little too big. I would, while I'm at it, try not to upload pictures that are really larger than 1,500 pixels wide. That's really big. And some of these, like this 3,000, I would advise against that. It's big, and it actually affects your server and how fast your page loads and things like that. So I'm just going to add, let's see. So I'm going to find some small ones in here. I guess I'll just use these 3 right here. Yeah. Go ahead and drop those in. Alright, I got my pictures in there. I just click save. For a second, so if you're wondering why it looks a little bit different, and for you guys, the save would be down here, but I accidentally uploaded to the same picture. The diaper cake was in there twice as 2 different names, so I deleted that. Okay, anyway, so we have our little gallery. So if I refresh and update, and I come back to this section, update this, I now will have a gallery of the portrait images that will show up top of this section. So that's how you insert the images for each individual one. And again, I'm still waiting on the answer about this text always being there or not. And as soon as I get an answer on that, I will make the adjustment accordingly. Now the last thing is there is this. So when you click on the services page, then you choose which one of these sections to go to. I'm going to cover that in another tutorial. And just to make sure you know what part I'm talking about the services landing page, which, let's see if I can find it. I think this is it. So the one that's got the 2 or 3, right here, different sections. This is actually part of what I'm showing you now, but our video is already going into 15 minutes, so I'm going to cover this in a separate section entirely.